Welcome to fourth grade health. This is lesson 162. This should be your last class for today, so that is exciting. We are going to be looking at pages 84 to 87, and there's a quick check on page 87 to answer on paper. And then we do have a little bit of homework, but I'll give that to you at the end, which you should have on your paper, but I like to verbally give it as well. All right, a couple questions just to get us thinking on this clean and neat thinking. When should you apply a deodorant? When should you apply a deodorant? Sorry, my nose was itching. After skin is cleaned. After skin is clean is when you should apply a deodorant. What part of your body should you wash the most? What part of the body should you wash the most? Your hands. Okay, that may have scared you, hopefully not. But your hands should be washed the most because you use them the most, all right? And when we're thinking about hands, it moves us right into the next section, dirty fingernails, special care for your fingernails. Now, right now, I have my nails nice and neat and trimmed. So I don't know if you can see them, but they are pretty neat and they're pretty trimmed. And so that should be how your fingernails are trimmed. They should be nice and rounded. And the best time to trim your fingernails is when they are wet. So after you get out of the shower and you've taken care of everything else, you can pull out your fingernail clippers and clip your fingernails. And that's the best time to get them trimmed because they're the softest. Your nails are the softest, and it avoids breaking them or being really hard to cut them. You shouldn't bite your fingernails. It makes them ragged. And also, if there is any bacteria on your fingernails, it gets it into your mouth. And so it's not good to do that. The cuticle, or the hardened skin around the nail, is there to help prevent bacteria. So that is, it doesn't have very much oil, so it may crack easily, get rough edges. If it tears, that is what is called a hangnail. And so it's not actually your nail that's hanging off, it's the skin, the cuticle around it that becomes a hangnail, and they are very painful. And it can also become infected, so you want to make sure that you take care of that. And so wash your hands, warm water and soap often that softens your cuticles. And so you want to help prevent the hangnails. And using lotion can also help keep them moist. If your fingernails are breaking easily or don't grow, you might be lacking vitamin A or protein. And so trying to get some of those things in your body. Also, if you, vitamin A, remember the form of vitamin A is only found in foods obtained from animals like eggs, milk, liver, fish liver oils, and butter. But you can eat stuff with carotene in it, and it turns into vitamin A. That's dark green vegetables, deep yellow fruits, and vegetables have carotene. All right, so keeping that in mind. Proper care of your feet. If your feet are moist, a fungus can grow, and it's called athlete's foot, and your feet develop sores between the toes or underneath, and your skin becomes flaky and dry. It might get really itchy and break some, and that's very contagious, and you want to keep from spreading that. So you really want to keep your toes, in between your toes, clean and dry, just to keep that from happening. But it also prevents them from smelling if they are clean. And then, of course, the best time to care for your toenails is after a warm bath or shower, because they're going to be soft like your fingernails, okay? And so you want to trim them. Toenails should be trimmed straight across. So you see the picture of the improper and proper trimming. The difference in that is that they're straight across on the one and they're rounded on the other. So toenails are supposed to be done straight across. It prevents ingrown toenails because when sometimes if it's cut jagged or something, it can grow over and dig into the skin, and those are not fun. So making sure that you're taking care of your feet that way. Your hair would be the next thing to take care of. And so there's oil in your hair that keeps it soft and shiny. But if you wash it too much, then it's even more oily. But if you don't wash it enough, then it does collect dirt and dust, and and then your hair kind of looks dull and it's not good. At your age, you need to at least shampoo, wash your hair once a week. Sometimes your hair might be, if your hair is a little more oily, then you might need to do it a little bit more than that. And so there's just different ways that we can take care of our hair. Always get it wet first before adding shampoo, and don't put the shampoo directly on your head, put it in your hand. I was always told at your guys' age that it's about the size, about the size of a quarter in your palm, and then and rub your hands together and then gently massage that into your hair and get it on all of your hair. And then you want to rinse really well, because if you leave shampoo stuck in your hair, then it will get a funny feeling to it, and it may it's not going to dry right and may look oily still. So you just want to make sure that you do that. You want to be careful not to comb your hair out when it's wet. You want to either towel dry it or blow dry it before you comb it out. I mean, the guys don't really have to worry about that unless your hair gets really long, but for girls, we have to worry about that. So doing that and trying to finger through untangle some of those before you run a comb through them so it doesn't break your hair is very good. And also remembering that vitamin A and protein is good for your skin, hair, and your fingernails, all your toenails and fingernails, so that you can have those healthy and that you're not having trouble with that. All right. How should your toenails be trimmed? Straight across instead of rounded. What is the skin disease that causes painful infection between the toes? Athlete's foot. And what is a toenail corner that has grown under the skin? An ingrown toenail, okay? So for homework today is to, well, actually before you do the homework, read pages 84 to 87, okay? Read those pages, answer the quick check 1 through 7 on paper. All right, then you're going to reread pages 86 and 87. And then define these words: cuticle, hangnail, carotene, athlete's foot, and ingrown toenail. Those 5 words. Those are on the sheet that I've given to your parents, and you may have it as you're working through this. But just so I've told you that that's what you're doing. So make sure that you read this first, and then whenever you do the homework, if it's right after you do the reading in here, or if you wait until later in the afternoon, then go ahead and do that. Reread these 2 pages on hair and define those 5 terms, all right? And we will see you in the next lesson. Have a good evening.